Welcome to W10 Video Tutorials. In this video, we would like to introduce 5D CNS Plus features. Cerebral malformations occur in approximately 1% of all births. The low prevalence of fetal CNS anomalies results in a lack of diagnostic cases, experience, and skills to evaluate anomalies. Diagnosis of sagittal and coronal planes of the brain may improve the diagnostic efficacy. 5D CNS Plus central nervous system quickly creates 9 planes of the fetal brain anatomy for a screening of fetal anomalies. It uses intelligent navigation to display 3 conventional axial planes: transventricular, transthalamic, transcerebellar, plus 6 more planes, including mid-sagittal, parasagittal, and coronal planes from a single volume of the fetal brain semi-automatically. To use 5D CNS Plus, acquire an optimal volume dataset of the BPD level biparietal diameter of the fetal brain by using a volume probe. For example, the CV18A may be used. To acquire a volume dataset, first optimize the 2D image. You can set appropriate values for acquisition mode and the distance before scanning. Set the location and size of the ROI both by using the trackball key and change button as desired. Next, press the 5D button on the control panel to enter the 5D Ready menu and click the CNS Plus button on the touchscreen. Press the Set key or Freeze button to start the volume dataset acquisition. After the completion of volume dataset acquisition, the 5D CNS Plus program will ask for 2 seed points to be identified. Refer to Step 1 and 2 guidance on the right side of the display to position the seeds. Use the trackball to place the first seed along the falx in the mid-thalami, then select the Set key. Next, use the trackball to position the second seed in the mid-cavum septum pellucidum and then select the Set key. Slightly inferior in the fetal head from the level where the ventricular atria is visualized, the BPD level is seen. The BPD, biparietal diameter, OFD, occipital frontal diameter, and the HC, head circumference, are all measured at the same level within the fetal head. The anatomical landmarks for this level are the midline falx, echogenic line dividing the cerebral hemispheres, the cavum septum pellucidum, an anterior break in the falx, the third ventricle along the falx more posterior than the cavum septum pellucidum, and the thalamus slightly more hypoechoic, diamond-shaped structure. 5D CNS Plus creates the following planes and measurements and labels the associated fetal brain anatomy. Additionally, the anterior and posterior, superior and inferior, and right and left sides of the fetal head are labeled accordingly in each plane. From the 5D CNS Plus menu, you can select the view type. When you select all, 9 planes show on the main screen. When axial is selected, 4 planes are displayed, 3 axial and 1 sagittal. Coronal displays 6 coronal planes. Sagittal displays 2 planes. When you select axial, the upper left quadrant displays the MSP, mid-sagittal plane, which demonstrates the CSP, cavum septum pellucidum, and CER, cerebellum. No measurements are taken in this plane. The upper right quadrant displays the TT, transthalamic plane, demonstrates the CSP, cavum septum pellucidum and thalami, measures the HC, head circumference, and the BPD, biparietal diameter, and the OFD, occipital frontal diameter. The lower left quadrant displays the TV, transventricular, which demonstrates the CP, choroid plexus, and the LV, lateral ventricle. It measures the VP, ventricle posterior atria of the far field lateral ventricle. The lower right quadrant displays the TC, transcerebellar plane, demonstrates the CSP, cavum septum pellucidum, and the CER, cerebellum, measures the CEREB, cerebellum, and the CM, cisterna magna. Once 5D CNS Plus has displayed the planes and measurements, the user may select Assign Selected Items to report on the touchscreen to assign and input all of the highlighted items into the report. Note, the measurements automatically are selected. The user must deselect any measurements that are to be excluded or require additional adjustments. Selecting the Hide All Indicators button on the touchscreen will remove all labels, planes, orientation, and measurements to allow for an unobstructed view of the anatomy. The user may select desired viewing planes from the touchscreen. It'll be displayed accordingly to the currently selected view type, all, axial, coronal, sagittal. This allows for more detailed analysis of the anatomy in that imaging plane. The left side will always display the MSP, mid-sagittal plane. The plane displayed on the right side of the dual display is selected by the user: TT transthalamic, TV transventricular, TC transcerebellar, TFC, TCAUDC, TTC, TCC, or PSP. When the user selects the imaging plane of interest, TT transthalamic, TV transventricular, or TC transcerebellar, the 5D CNS Plus menu will appear on the touchscreen. To make adjustments to the imaging plane, the user will select Rotate Line to adjust the angle of the plane, or Move Line vertically, Move Line horizontally, to move to a different level within the plane. Once the adjustments are made, the measurements are removed from the displayed image. Note, the XYZ ref slice buttons on the control panel do not function when in 5D CNS Plus. After imaging plane adjustments are completed, the user may either select Retry Measure to have the 5D CNS Plus remeasure the anatomy highlighted in the 5D CNS Plus menu on the touchscreen, or the user may measure the highlighted anatomy manually. Note, the measurements are not entered in the report until the user goes back to the previous screen and selects Assign Selected Items to report. To manually measure, select the desired measurement from the Edit Item menu. Next, use the trackball to place the pointer over the location for the first caliper and select the Set key on the control panel. Move the second caliper to the correct location and select Set to complete the measurement. "5D CNS Plus provides all 9 views of axial, coronal, and sagittal planes with essential 6 measurements: BPD, HC, OFD, VP, CEREB, CM for easy identification. BPD refers to biparietal diameter. OFD refers to occipital frontal diameter. HC refers to head circumference. CEREB refers to transverse cerebellar diameter. VP refers to the thickness of the atrium of the lateral ventricles. And CM refers to the size of the cisterna magna. Here's a list of the planes: MSP, mid-sagittal plane; TT, transthalamic plane; TV, transventricular plane; TFC, transfrontal coronal plane; TCAUDC, transcaudate coronal plane; TTC, transthalamic coronal plane. TCC, transcerebellar coronal plane. And PSP, parasagittal plane. Here's a list of the anatomical structures. CSP, cavum septum pellucidum. CER, cerebellum. CP, choroid plexus. LV, lateral ventricle. IHF, interhemispheric fissure. CAUD, caudate nuclei. T, thalamus. And CM, cisterna magna. Thank you for visiting our W10 video tutorials. Please visit again for more information on using your W10 ultrasound system.